I got the Total Warhammer 3, and I can't find a single person to have a conversation with about this game because all of you guys seem to overlap with Arch's fan base, and all I hear from them is, "Oh, medieval Total War 2, oh, medieval, now that was a game. Oh, back in my day, that was like the best game ever, and this game doesn't compare." And I'm like, okay, yeah, but like, can we talk about Total Warhammer 3? Like, no, medieval. It's like, all right. I get it. The game doesn't reach to the medieval level. I understand. But I wanted to talk about this game particularly. And people ask me what I think about it. I think you shouldn't buy it on release on full price. I have buyer's remorse because it's got a lot of bugs. And it feels that the game is not complete yet. But if you were to either get a discount for the game, or if the game fixes the bugs, then it's a worthy purchase. I mean, if you like Total Warhammer, if you're in the series, this game does feel like an improvement. The graphics are better, the UI is a lot better, and I love the fact that all of the factions play differently, and they have fundamentally different abilities. It's really cool. I like it. However, there is one thing that I could complain, and this actually really annoyed me, because yet again, it shows Creative Assembly simping and not caring about the lore. So they have simped for China really hard in this game by introducing this new faction called Cathay. And the whole thing with Grand Cathay is like just them trying to advertise for China, which, by the way, it's fine, because this was a faction within the actual tabletop game, but it was rarely explored. So Creative Assembly did a lot in order to fill the dotted lines with their envisioning on how Cathay plays like and what units they have. And I'm not really against this concept of widening your audience by appeasing China, by introducing these units and this faction as playable. Okay, I want to make people understand that that is not my problem. In fact, feel free to widen your audience as long as you're not dumbing down the game. This is something that I'm all for it. Like, hey, you want to introduce a different faction? Like, you want to have Romania as the faction where you have like all these creatures from Romanian folklore? Go for it. The thing that really annoys me about Cathay, though, is that it doesn't fit in the lore at all. Not the way the Creative Assembly made it. Because this is supposed to be a grimdark fantasy. And if you look at Warhammer, every single place in that universe is not where you would want to be. Like Bretonia. It's inspired from medieval France, but it takes the oppression to a whole new level. The peasantry are incredibly oppressed. The nobles don't even care about the peasantry. You wouldn't want to live in Bretonia. The Empire. It's inspired from medieval Germany. But they're a highly theocratic state. And they have religious persecutions and witch burnings. You wouldn't want to live in the Empire. The Dwarven clans, they take honor to an extreme. And they hold grudges. Imagine if you accidentally spilled someone's drink and 100 years from now they still hate and despise you. Imagine living in a society where if some member of your family does something bad, then everyone hates you even though you didn't do anything. You wouldn't want to be in that dwarven society. So like almost every place in Total Warhammer is bad. Why? Because it's dark fantasy. That's the whole point. Except for Grand Cathay. Grand Cathay is this amazing kingdom, this just beautiful lush place that's being ruled by eternal dragons that are incredibly wise, and it's flourishing, and they have a lot of resources, and it's so great and so amazing. It's got pixie shitting rainbows and everything, and it just doesn't fit in the lore. I just didn't like this faction, specifically because it was too nice. It's almost like they're the good guys. They're the guys that are trying to stave away chaos. And even in the main campaign, they're not interested. Like, everyone is trying to get this bear god either to have his power or to do something malevolent. No, like, they just don't even care about the bear god. They just want to know where one of their relatives is situated, and the bear god knows. And it's like, that's the reason they go after it. And I'm like, come on, you know, like, You're now having like this positive faction in Warhammer. Like even the good guys in Warhammer, like for example, the Lizardmen. I mean, they eat people. If they think that you're standing in the way of the grand plan that they're not even willing to share with you, they're going to destroy your settlements. So even the good guys are capable of atrocities, but not Grand Cathay. No, they're like the perfect little angels. And you know that they did this in order to simp for China. That's the only reason that they did this. They have pretty ladies that are leading. I mean, even the Dark Elves have pretty ladies, but they are going to shank you to death. Why? Because it's dark fantasy. It's grim dark. It's not supposed to be pleasant. You're not supposed to want to be there. But Grand Cathay is this place where I could see myself visiting. I could see myself going on a tourist vacation. Because everything is fine. Everything is nice. You know, I like the idea that they have like this Great Wall. It's like the Great Wall of China, and they keep chaos out. And I like the mechanics, but why couldn't you make them grimdark? Why couldn't that wall be constructed from the dead bodies of their enemies? And, you know, like the people that are placed in that wall, they have their souls binded to that wall. So the wall is magical to keep chaos at bay, but it's at the suffering of the people within it. Wouldn't that make more sense? Grim dark fantasy. Hello? Like, wouldn't that be scary? And when you're approaching the wall, you can hear the people screaming and shouting. Yeah, that would have been interesting. I spoke with Arch about it. Like, he would have actually inspired himself from Chinese history, and he said that the way he would have it, it would be that the emperor would be puppeteered by a eunuch, and that the kingdom would be in decay and disarray, and you'd have various nobles fighting for power. That would have made more sense. Given the universe, it would have made for an interesting game as well. Like, you're playing this noble faction, and the king, who is ruled by a eunuch, is being puppeteered by a eunuch, is against you, and for the first half of the game, you have to unite the kingdom. That would have been a lot greater. But no, apparently, like, everything is good, everything is fine, and it's also an overpowered faction. Like, it's got everything. It's so rounded up. At least, from what I have seen, I haven't played the multiplayer, so I can't tell you. But, like, okay, so it's got magic, it's got very good ranged units, it's got artillery, like, it's got everything. Everything, and everything is nice, and everything is good, and it's like, oh, come on. So, yeah, it really doesn't fit in this universe. But, maybe I missed something in the lore. Maybe there are some things that I missed. I don't think so, because I read the lore carefully. I couldn't find anything like that. No abuses, no nothing. Even in the Empire, like, you have racial discrimination and other things. Nothing here. No, they're very forward-thinking. They're very progressive. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.